All right, so now we should have Breely conversion tracking up and running for Google Ads, Metapixel, Google Analytics, and you can use the instructions to do others like LinkedIn, TikTok, etc. However, we're going to cover one quite common advanced extra feature, and that is getting these field values from the Breely submission. So for many purposes, it's often quite useful to know what was the name, the email address, phone number, or other field values inside Breely. So quite often we want to use the email and phone number for Google Ads enhanced conversion tracking or Metapixel advanced matching. So that's going to make the conversion tracking a bit more accurate. Those are very advanced features, but Breely makes it possible for us to have these form values, and we're going to now cover how that works. Another thing is often there may be questions, and depending on the question, we may want to fire different types of conversions or adjust the conversion value. So let's say we are selling solar panels and we want to focus on businesses, for example. Maybe these are 10 or 100 times bigger projects. We can create filters and only send these as conversions, or we can send a different conversion for the personal solar panel projects and the business or the other. And in Google Ads, Google Analytics, or Meta, we would be able to distinguish these different conversions from just any type of generic Breely form submission. So we can really get granular and see what is happening. Or if you do something like you ask for their budget, whether it's solar panels or wedding rings or wedding makeup, you could have a different conversion or a different conversion value based on what they pick here. All right, so let's cover how this works. I'm gonna make a test booking here, and I got my Google Tag Assistant connected. I've clicked on this preview button and everything is good to go. Why don't I clean up the Tag Assistant so it's easier to see? And now let's click confirm. All right, so how can we get these form values? Well, let's click on the Breely form submitted, and here clicking on this data layer thing. So while this looks pretty complex and intimidating, this is actually pretty easy. So there's a couple of things. There is Breely, and inside this Breely thing object, we have all these different things we can access. And it's going to be much easier than what it seems here. So inside Breely, we have, for example, client last name, client first name, client full name, phone, email, submission unique ID, etc. So in Google Tag Manager, we can head over to variables, and we can start creating these user-defined variables like the Breely email address. So these are called data layer variables, and the syntax is super easy. It's just Breely dot whatever you want to access. So for example, Breely.client last name, Breely.client first name, Breely.client phone number, or Breely.client email, like we have done here. So why don't I create a new one just for demonstration? Click new, click data layer variable, and let's get the submission unique ID. So this is Breely.submission unique ID. Of course, always copy pasting from here. And I can call this just whatever we add here, or we can make it a little bit nicer, Breely submission unique ID. All right. So now let's head over to a few of our tags, like the Google Ads tag. So here we have a transaction ID, so I can click and add the Breely submission unique ID here. And then for the Facebook Breely, we can do the same thing. Here, event ID, Breely submission ID. All right, so now let's preview this again. All right, so I just submitted the Breely form. In our tag assistant, if we take a look at the Breely form submitted, again, in the data layer, we can see the submission unique ID is 209986. And now, because we created it, turn it into a variable, here under variables, the Breely submission unique ID again has the same number. And if we take a look at the tags here, and we click on values, we can see the event ID is now this unique one. And we can even see it here in the Metapixel helper Chrome extension event ID. So using this same logic, we can now do anything we want. We can add a custom value. We can also do things like enable advanced matching. So here we can add, for example, the client email. And here we can pick the Breely email address, click save, and now our tracking is a little bit more accurate. Now, there are a lot of advanced features we can do, but let me share one more that's pretty common. So again, let's say that we want a different conversion depending on this choice here. So let's first make a test submission, so I can clearly see what's happening under the hood. Heading over to the tag assistant, Breely form submitted. We can check the data layer and let's find this question. Okay, so solar panel purpose. All right. Good. So let's turn this into a data layer variable so we can use it as a filter. So again, it's Breely.solarpanelPurpose. So inside our variables, click new, data layer variable, Breely.solarpanelPurpose. All right. And now we can go to our triggers. We can pick the trigger that we're using, like this Breely custom event. And now we can make a clone of it. Breely submit business only. So now we can pick these Breely form submissions, but only some of them. Which ones? Well, the ones where only the specific ones where the solar panel purpose contains business. So only if that's what was chosen here, it's going to be sent. So let's save and go to our tags. I'm just going to take one of these. Let's say I'll pick the meta one. I'll make a clone of the meta solar business, and let's pick something like a custom event, solar business conversion book, something like this. And then making sure that the trigger for this is this business solar panel only. So now we can have a different conversion again, depending on the selection or what the user chose as the fields in Breely. All right, so let's test this out. Again, clicking the preview button in Google Tag Manager, clicking connect, heading over to the Breely booking page, then making another test booking here for test man, and I'm gonna choose business as this purpose. So let's keep an eye out on this Metapixel helper and click confirm. All right, so now we can see that we were sending the schedule event, which is any Breely form submission, but we are also sending this Solar Business Book custom event. You could call this whatever you like. Just as an example, this will only be fired for these unique submissions. So using this logic, again, you are able to access all of these field values and create filters, different conversions, or add more information. Let's say if in Google Analytics, you would like to generate lead to have some parameter like solar panel purpose, or even creating a different conversion altogether for the business solar panels or whatever the field you have. You can do so by creating these data layer variables. All right, hopefully this was useful. And as always, don't forget to click the submit button and publish your Google Tag Manager once you're happy with your tracking.